whether it's a divorce or a succession, it's a finite amount of work and then it's done. And that client is not likely to be a repetitive client unless, of course, they remarry and they get divorced again. And
Which usually happens.
yes, well, the statistics sort of suggest that. And so there generally is not an ongoing relationship with that client other than an occasional phone call of, somebody's child got in trouble at school or something like that. So for a person in a sole practitioner setting, depending upon your clientele and what your practice area is, it is just critical to be constantly on top of your game when you can. And sometimes that's, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you can't be as attentive to clients' phone calls. If you're a sole practitioner, you're in court all day, you're not returning somebody's phone call that day. You have to have good staff that can say, as long as in court you won't be able to return your phone call till tomorrow or even 2 days from now. As long as you maintain your client contact, as long as they know that you are thinking of them, you're working on their matter, and you get back to them in a reasonable time, then they're happy with that. And there are so many different ways that you can develop business as a sole practitioner. And I go back to involvement in your children's school, involvement in bar associations. And that's really the way that I started off, was being involved in and starting one of the Association for Women Attorneys here in New Orleans, and then also starting a national group of women's bar foundations. And I, like Leanne, I know lawyers all over the country, and I've developed these wonderful friendships. They don't refer work to me because most of them went on to be judges and are now retired. And I may be the only one left actually working, which has its own drawbacks. But involvement with your clients is really limited because it tends to be piecemeal. You do what you were hired to do, and then that client moves on, you move on. But when you get a phone call and so-and-so said you were a good lawyer and I have this problem, then I know that I've done well by that first lawyer. And invariably my clients, and I think it's probably true for all of us, they will say to you, thank you, you really helped me, I was in a jam, you explained it. Explaining is so critical, at least in my line of work. And since the storm, I have done so many successions, and they're almost all related to road home issues. And so many of them are elderly people who, they lost their home, or their parents lost their home, nobody did the succession. It is a maze of intricacies working with the road home. But it's been such a joyful thing for me. The other thing that I do some defense work for Harrah's Casino, and the way that I got that work is under the gaming laws of Louisiana. The casinos, when they are licensed, have to award a certain percentage of their outside work to minority or women-owned businesses. And so-and-so knew so-and-so who came to see me, and I went, I'll try it, sure. And I'd never really done defense work before. Most of my work was family law, successions, and medical malpractice on the plaintiff's side. So I've learned a lot, and I'm appreciative of the work. But again, it's like with anybody else's clients, you have to keep up with them. You have to massage that relationship, and you just have to be good at what you're doing, or you have to work hard at it and let them know that you work hard at it. Let me make a plug also for the New Orleans Bar Association, and if Helene is in here, just let her know. For those of you who are looking for work, the New Orleans Bar Association has a lawyer referral service. You pay a fee to the Bar Association and you let them know 2 or 3 areas of law that you will accept referrals in. There are people in this community who haven't the slightest clue who to talk to about a problem. And the Bar Association is very good about promoting this service. They can call into the office and say, I need an adoption. Or, my car broke down, it's a lemon, I need somebody who can help me sue the manufacturer. The Bar Association is great about providing those kind of services to people who do not have lawyers. And it helps them because you're paying a fee, and it helps you, and it has been an incredible source of work for me. And so if any of you all are in that position, it's worth joining the Bar Association and participating in the referral process.
It's a nominal fee for the return that you actually get in the business.
Can I just very briefly, I just want to follow up on one thing. I know that we've been giving you some tips about, what works, what doesn't, what's worked for us, and it is individual. Not everybody's a great speaker. And if you aren't a good speaker, you got to recognize that and not do it, because if anything, it'll backfire on you. That's the last thing that you want to do. Some people are not great writers, and it just takes an awful lot of time to write an article and to distinguish yourself, because of some law review article that you wrote or some case note or whatever it may happen to be, or some journal, because a lot of trade journals will accept your articles very, very quickly, because they're always looking for somebody to fill up space in their respective magazines. It could be Modern Healthcare or whatever. You could get, people from, somebody called me from the Wall Street Journal of all things the other day, and I gave him a quote. I mean, goodness knows I didn't know what I was talking about, but I gave him a quote anyway, So you have to be very careful about some of the tips that we're giving you that we may have used that may work for us, because it may not be what you're comfortable with or you're good at. And so you've got to be very honest about that. One way that I think most lawyers get business is from other business that they do for the same client. So it's low-lying fruit. If you win a case for a client, or if you're turning around files very quickly, say you're doing med mal defense, and you can close 10 files instead of churning them, as you might think in this economy you might think you need to do, or your firm may think you need to do, but your client certainly does not think that's what you need to do. So if you can figure out some fast ways to arbitrate, mediate, get rid of that case, move it on, move it over, you're going to get 10 times more work where that came from. So I mean that's another way. Low-lying fruit. It's in your file cabinet. You just don't realize how to use it. So I just might want to point that out.
Definitely. I just wanted to say something on that particular note relative to Peggy's practice as a solo practitioner. You don't want to go too fast to where you're going to make mistakes on the work, but the fastest that you can get it out and get it done, trust me, your clients are going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their family. I went to so-and-so, and after 3 months, I still couldn't get a response back on a succession, a simple succession. But I took it to this person, I took it to Peggy. Peggy finished it in less than 30 days. Trust me, they're going to say that. They're going to tell the good and they're going to tell the bad. So if you do bad, they'll tell that part. If you do the work very well and very quickly and efficiently for your clients, they will spread that word as well.
I think that's particularly true right now given the market conditions and the economy, and the work is being sometimes held in-house if it's a large corporation. And if it is going outside, then it's going outside strategically. And there's a lot of competition for work. So I think that with increased pressures on budgets and things like that, you've got to pay attention again. Not that you may not have been paying attention, but special attention to the client's needs and put yourself, as Donna said, in their position. What are they expecting?
Is it important for me to bring in my own clients to a firm in this economy, or should I just focus on the cases that are assigned to me?
It would be pretty dangerous, I think, in this economy not to at least make efforts, in my opinion, to develop work. Not everybody is really good at it, and people need to recognize that part. But, you do have clients, even if you're assigned work from somebody else, you have a relationship with the client. You have an independent relationship with the client on particular projects, and I think that you make the most of those relationships, and those clients want to come back to you, even if there is someone who has that overall client relationship. So.
I would agree with that. I mean, certainly at this point in time, bringing in business is valued in any firm, really, or in no matter what the size is. And as an associate, if you do good work, you're certainly valued for what you do. If you do good work and please clients that are current clients of the firm, that's a plus too. And then if you go outside of that and you're able to make some connections in the community or otherwise, that's certainly going to be appreciated. And so I was also going to comment what Donna said, play to your strengths. I mean, I mentioned speaking, but if you hate to speak, don't speak. If you hate to write, don't write. I mean, if you hate to go to cocktail parties, don't go.